Hi there. In this video, I have a reflective question for you. Are you working with or against the flow? I'm going to explain what that is about in a moment. My name is Aishwarya Rajmohan, and I am an executive coach and speaker supporting women working in majority male industries with building the confidence to take their careers and businesses to the next level. Now, I am part of a Slack group where someone posted how, because of the heat wave in Europe, this is June 2026 that I'm recording this, that he was finding it hard to keep productive. And he found himself getting a bit lax. And he compared it with how he used to tell his children off for also not being very productive during the summer. And I was really inspired to share a different perspective after having grown up in a hot climate myself. Now, I know that this was not practical advice, so I just offered it as a thought rather than a suggestion. But what I wanted to highlight was that in climates that have this kind of thing happening all the time, we give ourselves time to be lax, i.e., to go with the flow, to work with the flow. During the hottest part of the day, business shuts down between midday to late afternoon, and then continues with renewed inspiration and motivation and enthusiasm after that for a couple of hours into the evening. Now, this works and it comes without guilt for most of us because the system supports it. It's not the case in Western Europe, or in Northern Europe, rather. And his response was that he appreciated the advice, but of course, he couldn't follow it because of his workload and current schedule. And his decision instead was to start a networking group or an accountability group where anyone who struggled with the same challenge would meet the early part of the day to hold each other accountable. Now, this was very interesting for me because he sounds to me like, as an outsider observing, looking in, that he's created more work for himself, forcing himself to be accountable, forcing himself to meet his obligations, rather than giving himself that little bit of time to just be. And I can understand there's a very real worry, especially when you have a big workload. But if you can just take a look at the difference in strategies, you're working harder to be productive in one respect, but in the other, giving yourself time and space means that you can get back to it from a stronger place. Now, neither of these solutions might work for you. You might have something altogether different to cope with a situation like a sudden heat wave. But this is what I want to highlight to you. Whenever you think of a situation or a solution to a situation, rather, think of the solution and think of whether you have thought of something that is going with the flow or against it. This is something I really want to highlight because as women, especially, I know women working in majority male industries, a lot of us, we pride ourselves on being able to get things done. So we don't flinch at the idea of putting more onto our plates, but is it really the right answer? Is it really the right way forward? Can we be a bit smarter rather than saying yes to one more thing? So I hope this has given you a very quick thought for reflection, and you're going to use this in your own lives. The next time, at least over the summer, with all that you have to perhaps cope with, dealing with family and children and supporting them during the summer holidays, as well as meeting your own needs. Think about the solutions that you are coming up with to problems or challenges that arise, and whether they are the best way to move forward, or are they just simply doing things like you have always done them? Super important for you.